The inevitable happened. Real Madrid extended their record to win 15th Champions League. And it's not normal, it's incomprehensible. It is obnoxious to think that the amount of Champions League titles they have won is the same as whole Premier League teams combined. Now if you look at it, Champions is the best in Europe. And there are teams that have been great in the past, which have been considered to be the greatest teams of all time. Even the Man City team right now, people consider them to be the best team in football for some years. And this is the story of football. It takes enormous amount of effort to build a project. You have to have right people in the management, financial backing, right manager, the players suited to his system, some exceptional players, then you have to avoid injuries, and then you're not guaranteed to win a single Champions League trophy. Man City has been the best team in England for past 7 years, and the Premier League is considered to be the best football league in the world, but still they have only one UCL title to show. Even PSG, who have spent so much money, brought in so many good managers, great players and whatnot, so they can win the Champions League at least once, but still they couldn't do it. So the point is, there are many things that have to be perfectly aligned to even be challenging for the Champions League title, to be considered one of the favorites. And then you have to have top performances to reach the final, and then to win it, it's about being clinical and how determined you are. There is no place for any kind of error, and then you have to have some luck. And only then can a team win the Champions League, the biggest trophy in club football. And Real Madrid are the UCL champions again. They won their 10th Champions League in 2014, and within these 10 years, they have won their 15th. We are witnessing history being made, not just in football, but in sports as a whole, because I have not seen any sporting institution with this kind of pedigree, with this kind of hunger to win more and more. Since 1950s, when the European football started, Real Madrid has been one of the biggest names, and they have just improved on it. And as a Real Madrid fan, this team has given me so much happiness over the years. I just feel lucky that for some reason 20 years ago, I started following this team, and I just want to be happy and most importantly, humble for this win. And now about Borussia Dortmund, I have to appreciate this team for their efforts. They aren't the richest or the flashiest club in football. Their league is dominated by a powerhouse called Bayern Munich. Their players, their managers, anything good they produce is snatched by them. So Dortmund is not the most decorated club in European football, but still they are a team that is being loved by most neutral football fans. They have a beautiful fan base, that iconic yellow wall, and I have been appreciating this club since the time of Jurgen Klopp. And what happened with them last year, the way they lost the Bundesliga in the final match day against Bayern Munich, and that too in the goal difference, was heartbreaking. And then to again suffer this year domestically and to compete like this in the Champions League, beating teams like Atleti and PSG on their way to the final, must be appreciated. And I'd say even in this final, about which we're gonna discuss, they were good. On the balance of play, if you look at the whole match, they weren't bad. And to challenge a team like Real Madrid in such occasion is a big deal in itself. Talking about the match, you see when the match began, it was cagey. The first few minutes, Madrid had the ball, but then Dortmund started hitting them on the counter, and then Madrid were on the back foot. Dortmund had some great opportunities, with Julian Brandt, adeyemi and Füllkrug knocking the door. Brandt had a shot off target, Füllkrug had a one-on-one chance against Courtois, but the ball hit the post. Then Karim adeyemi also had a clear opportunity. He actually had a couple of great chances, but couldn't score. Then Sabitzer's shot was saved by Courtois, and Füllkrug again headed the ball in Courtois' hand. So Dortmund had some real good attacking opportunities, especially in the first half, but they could not convert. They had an XG of 1.83 compared to Real Madrid's 0.08 in the first half. But then again, they could not finish their chances. While Real Madrid soaked in the pressure in the first half, understanding that they will get their chances later, and when they got it, they buried their chances, leaving no hopes for Dortmund. And that's exactly what happens against Real Madrid. This has been said so many times that if you don't bury your chances against Real Madrid, they will come back to haunt you. Now the first half I'd say belonged to Dortmund, and just like how this happened many times this season, Carlo Ancelotti's halftime talk changed the dynamics of the game. Real Madrid stepped into the second half with an intent to score, and Dortmund could only defend. I had a feeling that even if Dortmund scored 2 or 3 goals in the first half, Real could have easily outscored them in the second. They were so good in the second half. Dortmund weren't that bad defensively. In fact, Hummels and Schlotterbeck had a good game. Both the players I thought did a great job defensively, and apart from that one error by Madsen, which resulted in Vini's goal, there were not many mistakes from them. They played like how a team should play in the finals. Julian Brandt had a good game, Füllkrug created some problems at the front, adeyemi although he missed some chances, but was a constant trouble for Real Madrid defenders. Edin Terzic said something post-match which stood out to me. He said, "Today, we saw why Real have 15 UCL titles. It's because of their efficiency, and that's what we lacked. And that's it. Real Madrid are efficient. They are clinical, and they pounce upon the opportunities they get." They scored the opening goal in the 74th minute of the match. It was a header from Carvajal. His shot a few moments ago was saved, and then he scored this one. And he's probably the shortest guy in the Real Madrid squad, but still he stood up and headed the goal when it mattered the most. While Dortmund were playing for the corners and they had so many of them, but they couldn't convert a single corner to goal, and that's the difference in efficiency. Real Madrid pressing at the 87th minute. When Jude got the ball, he sees Vinicius making a run, passes him the ball, and Vini scores the goal. Now imagine how many times we have seen Real getting pressed by the other teams in the latter stages of the second half, before a Real player snatches the ball and scores the goal on the counter and completes the comeback. So for all the people who say that Real Madrid are lucky to win the Champions League, or they perform black magic on the pitch, or footballing gods are in their side, see, all of that can be true, especially the footballing gods part. But you have to remember this, that Real Madrid are courageous enough to believe in the plan that they have for a game and execute that on the pitch in an efficient manner. Just like how they kept on defending against City, understanding the fact that their next attack could be a goal, or how they kept on attacking against Bayern, knowing that they can be vulnerable at the back. So they have a belief that their plan will work and they will get a chance to execute that plan, and once they get that chance, they won't miss it. And that's why they already have an advantage even before the game has started. And we saw it in this game as well. In the halftime when Dortmund had performed better, their players were looking a little worried, while Real Madrid players, they were laughing while they walked into the tunnel. That's how confident they are in their plans and their abilities. Anyways, for me individually, Carvajal was the best player. Not because of the goal he scored, but because of the efforts he was putting in the whole game, and in fact the whole season. He was going forward when required, going back to defend when needed, blocking goal scoring chances, and even scored the goal, deserving man of the match for me. Then Kamavinga was too good. His work rate, his defensive contributions, his involvement in taking the ball forward, everything was on point. And that left foot attempt he made, which goalkeeper had to save, was exceptional. What a goal it could have been. Then Toni Kroos did well. As always, he controlled the game. Courtois had a couple of good saves in the first half, which were as important as the goals for the win, so cannot forget that. Fede Valverde was good and hardworking. Vini, Rodrygo and Bellingham played their part, but I don't think this was their best game. But about Vini, I have to say this. How well has he developed as a player? They used to call him Vinicius with an F. They used to laugh at his final product. Even his teammates didn't believe in him. And now he has become the main man in the biggest club in the world. He has become borderline unstoppable. Maybe a defender can control him for 80% of the match, but he'll somehow make a few chances and he will convert one of them. He has scored 2 goals in the 2 Champions League finals he has played in this young age. Look at how he ran riot versus Bayern and his goal contributions versus City. He's a big game player, and how can you not appreciate the things he has been doing? Hats off to you, brother. Now Edin Terzic, you have my respect. Being a young manager, competing with the likes of Simeone, Enrique, Ancelotti, taking Dortmund to the Champions League final, a team which don't really have any superstars or exceptionally good players. He made the whole team exceptional. They attacked and defended as a unit and made it to the finals and competed to win. Very well done. Edin Terzic, you have my respect. Now Carlo Ancelotti, for me, you're the GOAT. He has won the league titles everywhere he went. He has won 5 Champions League as a manager, which is more than any other manager in the history of football. But it's not about the accolades or the records. It's how he manages his teams. No player has had any problems with him. From the player who played every game to the player who doesn't play as much. Everyone respects him and are on the same page as him. He faced 37 injuries this season, with 3 ACL injuries to his starters. Lost his main man Benzema, got no replacement, but he doesn't moan nor does he complains. He performs and makes his player perform as well. Makes them believe in his plan and gives his player the confidence to execute it. He has done it for so many years and he does it again. Dancing with the boys, going to hug his wife after the match. How can you not appreciate this man? My name is Sahib and I just want to thank you for managing the team that I love, for the happiness you have given me throughout these years. Gracias, Don Carlo. And that would be the end of the video, guys. Like if you found it interesting, share your thoughts. You know I'll respond to every single comment. And for the next videos, we'll be talking about Mbappe and what to expect from him. And if you want to know why Carlo Ancelotti is the most suited manager for Real Madrid, click to watch this video. Subscribe to Football Ledger and I'll see you on the next one. Ciao.